everyone, it is Gabby, and welcome back to more Let's Play Danganronpa 2. Last time, you know, it's almost more appropriate to ask what didn't happen last time. Nagito basically just pulled a Nagito and decided to pretty much. He threatened to blow up the entire island, had us running around in a wild goose chase for like 2 days, and just as we started to realize that maybe some of the things he was trying to do was actually just a bluff, we find his dead body. Not just even a dead body, but a dead body in a surprisingly horrible and very confusing position. So really now the question, it's such a great concept, because now at this point, it leaves you with so many questions, like, well, I mean, for the first one, most obvious, who killed Nagito Komaeda? The second one, not even less obvious. Then the other questions are, who killed Nagito Komaeda? Why did they kill Nagito Komaeda? Why did they kill Nagito Komaeda like that? What, with all the torture wounds and the spear stuffed through his stomach? And, has this got anything to do with the traitor? And also, on top of all that, probably the most appropriate thing is, what did Nagito know? What did he find out in that final dead room in chapter 4? Because clearly that has something to do with all of this. Whatever he found out, something happened to him, and that led to his death. There are so many questions, and really we are the only ones who can uncover it. And by we, I mean Hajime Hinata, and also me, and the audience, and all of the other members of the cast. So, oh god, I'm so excited. Let's go. This is, like I said, this is where the game gets good. Because this is what, sorry, I should just stop fangirling, start playing this fucking game. I can't help it. I love this. It's so great. Some people call this the best trial murder investigation thing in the entire series. So, it's very iconic. Let's go. When you hear that guitar come in, you're like, okay, you know shit has gotten real. It's like, I can't even. Look at me. Hello, Sora Hikaru. Welcome to 2-5. Like when you hear that electric guitar, you're like, shit is getting real. It's a good game. Danganronpa is Danganronpa 2 is better than Danganronpa 1, and V3 is also very good. They're very unique games, and you really have to, sometimes they're a bit of a slow burn. It takes a while for you to get into it, and it's not for everyone, but it turns out it's for me. Exactly, the electric guitar. Now it's time to get serious. Look at all the different things we have to investigate, but... Oh, using Walmart Wi-Fi, you're freezing low. You guys and I'm gonna use free Wi-Fi and do whatever. No, don't start with Ultra Despair Girls. They're trying to trick you. You can't start with Ultra Despair Girls. Although, you know what? I'm sure, for people who are probably more action-oriented, who don't really like visual novels, they might actually start with Ultra Despair Girls, because that's more of a game than all of the other games. The gameplay's a little bit janky, though. The thing about Spike Chunsoft, the developers of these, they're not a AAA studio. They're more like a AA or I don't even know. They don't have the biggest budget or the biggest staff. So, they do what they can. Anyway, right, let's talk to everyone. I'm sorry, I'm getting too excited by this jamming electric guitar. It's so good. It mattered for Gundam's killing and for Mikan's. But it looks like it's different this time. It doesn't matter this time. What doesn't matter? The time! It looks like the time doesn't matter. It was clearly written in the Monokuma file. The time of the death was noon sharp. Alright, we didn't actually, let me look over that because we got that in last week. The victim is Nagito Komaeda. The body was discovered inside the warehouse near the Monokuma plushie factory. The estimated time of death is believed to be noon sharp. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds in each of his thighs. Furthermore, there was a laceration on his left arm, and a knife impaled through his right hand. If it was at noon, what were we doing at that time? god, this guitar! I can't. It's so banging. What are we doing? Well, right now it's 12:30 p.m. So it also has a clock function. Oh right, yeah, it's what do you call it? It's Mekamaru's clock. Obviously, he put that was still functioning. Well, Kazuichi must have fixed it because it was broken, I think, when Gundam killed him. Then that means Nagito died 30 minutes ago. Huh? It happened that recently? He's totally a fresh kill. Fresh seems like a bad way to describe it. If it happened 30 minutes ago, was it around the time he was struggling with the bombs? I probably wouldn't do the trial tomorrow because it's... Well, I could, theoretically. I'd probably still have to split it up into 2 parts because it's long, so I'll probably wait until next week. Oh, so excited. Sorry. You're right. Those fake bombs were originally supposed to explode at noon. Which means whoever doesn't have an alibi for that time is Nagito's killer. But this could be like when Nekamaru died. The killer could have also used some kind of automatic setup. You know what? Good on Akane. I think she's learning. Very slowly. She's learning. Also, the crime looks very detailed, so they would have need time to prepare. I also just you know, I just want to make sure that is the sound volume alright? Just because, like, with the electric guitar there, I could hear it very loudly. I don't know. Also, thanks for the follow. Sorry, Hikaru. I'm sorry, I don't get, like, proper alerts on my stream. I have to, like, actually check manually. Then whoever doesn't have an alibi before we found the bombs is suspicious. Wait, none of us have an alibi for that time. That's when we all split up to search for the bombs. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, I didn't realize it's so then it transitioned into the more like not remix version. Hang on. Oh, but then the guitar comes back. It's so good. I'm not freaking about it like Kazuichi, but I definitely can't stop thinking about it. When the Monokuma timer reaches 0 2 days from now, what's gonna happen? Sorry, I'm just checking now. Because now I don't remember what they were talking. They mentioned that part, so it's like how Goku slowly became less naive with time by spending time with his friends. I mean, I guess so in a way, but Goku doesn't really change too much, which is kind of the point of Goku. But it's you know, it's interesting seeing Akane trying to think. She's just, I mean, it makes sense because at the end of chapter 4, she's just like, oh, we're all such pieces of shit, but the biggest one is me. And she's just kind of like, she realizes that she's, you know, there are things that she could still do. So, yeah. Alright. Right, yep. And they'll say the killing school trip will be over in 2 days. And what do you guys think? Then we can go home, right? And then, yeah, Kazu is like, you know, it's okay, but we have to focus on Nagito's case first. Yeah. Right. Alright, sorry. I just wanted to remember what they said. What is gonna happen is the question. What's gonna happen? This rotten school trip is gonna end, right? We can finally go back home. I forgot. It's okay. It's like obviously they're obviously repeating themselves, but they're partially repeating them. Wait, holy shit! Was that? I wonder if that was only one loop of the whole track. It's a very long track, if that's the case, and that's really cool. Sorry, I'm interrupting myself. Yeah, it's like they just, you know, reaffirming this stuff just so you remember. But if you did actually decide to save just before it started, like I did. Carefree till the end. Does that mean you don't think that'll happen? Monokuma might be planning to make us do something after the countdown ends. What do you mean, something? It's making us kill each other, you know? What could be worse than that? I don't know. But this is Monokuma we're talking about, you know? There's no way to let smoothly with a countdown. Anyway, like you said before, if we screw up here, it's the end for us. For now, let's focus on the investigation. We'll think about the countdown after we live through the class trial. Yeah, I know. And don't bring up strange stuff like that. And yeah, he goes from not knowing what marriage is to getting married. I mean, he honestly, even thinking about Dragon Ball Z Goku, I don't think he even really still understands what marriage is, but he accepts it. So I guess, you know, strange acceptance. He does it in his own way. And here's Sonia. If only everyone could go home. Nothing would make me happier. No, we should finish the class trial, then we can think about what will happen after. Hi, Kazuichi. One of us killed Nagito in such a cruel way. It's too bizarre. I can't do anything except laugh. Hi, Chiaki. She looks like she's deep in thought while staring at the ceiling. The ceiling? What happened? Is there something strange about the ceiling? Yeah, about that sprinkler. That's one of the sprinkler heads that activated to put out the fire. You can see a girder right next to it, right there. Can you see that red streak? I mean, I only see it's pink, but you say it's that anyway. Yeah, this is just another reminder that while we see blood as pink, the blood is red, is still red in the universe, not actually pink. Anyway. You're right, I definitely see it. It looks like a small red line on the ceiling girder. Is that blood? Blood? The color definitely looks like blood. There's no way blood could get up there, right? Plus, it's in a straight line. That's why I've been staring at it. I think it's strange. It's definitely strange. I should remember this. Oh, here we go. It's been added to your truth bullets. Okay, there's a few things here at the front that you should look at as well as talking to everybody. So, I guess you know what? I might as well look at the giant elephant in the room, the plushie with blood in it, and yeah, I would also laugh at Nagito's death. Yeah, laugh. Well, I mean, we'll investigate it soon. That means in an alternate reality where our blood was pink, Danganronpa would have red blood. Does it work like that? Is that how alternate realities work? I don't know. Monokuma's dead. There's blood coming out of his stomach. Hey. No response. He's dead. Okay, that's a reference to something. What is that a reference to? Just kidding. I'm not dead. Is this one of the life-size plushies that was being produced in this factory? If you're mistaking a plushie for me, then there's something wrong with you. You're a stuffed animal too. Don't put oversized garbage there. It's so misleading. What are you calling oversized garbage? Could this be one of Monokuma's tricks? Then why did he do it? Making a hole like got stabbed and then going to trouble with dirtying the hole with blood? Did he try to imitate Nagito's body or something? I had nothing to do with that. Huh? He's probably lying. Seriously, you're always lying. You should just die like that plushie over there. Wow, okay. Ever since Monomi was like, I can't take it anymore, she's just suddenly decided, you know what, I'm going to, screw being Miss Nice Girl. I'm going to say my mind and say mean words. You seem more pissed than usual these days, Monomi. But you better watch what you say. If I feel like it, I can wipe you out easily, you know. I won't give in to your threats. I'll fight you until the very end. I will definitely take back the seat of world supremacy from Monokuma. What world suprem? I mean, he did call her organization World Enter, so looks like those annoyances are gone, and Hajime meanwhile is having none of any of it. If it wasn't Monokuma's trick, then who did this? Could the killer have done this? If so, is this Nagito's blood? I have no idea how this connects to the incident. But it's a truth bullet, so it's definitely going to be important at some point. Anyway, what else has we got here? Looks like a bunch of plastic bottles. Remnants of plastic are scattered all over the place. This is probably... Oh, that was weird. It just disconnected me from chat for a second. But I didn't drop any frames, so it's fine. Those fire grenades that we used to put out the fire. Well, they weren't actually that useful in the end. The fire was only extinguished thanks to the sprinklers. Well, nevertheless, this evidence isn't all that strange. Oh, okay. That's actually really interesting. So it's a piece of evidence, but it doesn't actually go into your truth bullets, but it's fair enough. Oh, a lighter. Okay, that sounds like evidence. Ah, it's an oil lighter. This is where the curtains would have been hanging. It also looks like the fire did extensive damage here. If the oil lighter was placed here. Ah, an oil lighter. Someone probably wanted to keep warm. It's the most foolish thought. This is clearly the cause of the fire. Oil lighters can continue to burn even after someone lets go of them. So, using that, the curtain was set on fire. Using the oil lighter, huh? Do you think the killer set up some sort of trick with it? The killer probably planned to destroy evidence by setting this warehouse on fire. They caused a fire to destroy evidence? That's the only reason I can think of why a killer would set fire to their crime scene, but it's never as simple as it seems to be. I think that's it. No, it's because we can't look at the ceiling, so. Alright guys, let's look at that mess. Nagito, you are a pain in our ass, but we owe it to everyone to at least figure out what happened to you. I never expected Nagito to die like this. He was always spouting nonsense about hope and trying to confuse the hell out of us. But even so, dying like this is just too cruel. Also, he wasn't completely useless. There were times we were only able to reach the truth because of him. But everything good and bad about him is gone. We'll never be confused by him again. We'll never be saved by him again. No. Now isn't the time to think about unnecessary things. I need to focus on the investigation right now. I'm sure the Komahinas right now are like, oh hey, look at all the special attention he pays to Kamada. But also fair enough, it's been his rival this entire game. If you find your shonen anime rival dead on the ground, you'd be confused too. For now, I need to investigate everything about this body that catches my eye. Which is a lot of things. A lot of things about this body catch your eye. But I guess I guess we'll start from the bottom. The feet. Both of Nagito's legs are tied up. Each rope is tied to the pillars nearby. He wouldn't have been able to move at all. According to the Monokuma file, the wounds on his legs are all stab wounds. Does that mean the killer didn't just tie up Nagito, they also stabbed his legs? Why would the killer do something like that? I just realized, everyone who's played Ultra Despair Girls, you know, Nagito and getting his legs stabbed. Shit, that was they probably did that intentionally. It was a reference, wasn't it? Anyway, don't look too much about that, that's a spoiler. At any rate, it's pretty sadistic. The killer must have been holding a huge grudge towards him. Or they might have been torturing him. It's a torture? I mean, if they just wanted to kill him, they could have just stabbed him once in the chest, right? If you disregard the spear in his chest, the other wounds were inflicted for reasons other than killing. Which means the wounds all over Nagito's body were from the killer torturing him? If that's the case, what was the killer trying to make Nagito confess? Was it something that would have led to the traitor? I mean, I think he did say, Nagito's message did say something like he'd figured out what the traitor was. Well, even if this was torture, there's no doubt that the killer must have held a deep grudge towards Nagito. I mean, that's kind of everyone here. Hi, Alan. Welcome back to Danganronpa 2. I think you missed the fun last time with Nagito's body, but we're investigating it. Nagito said we have no idea what the fuck happened. Refusing to let him die easily. I can totally understand a dark impulse like that. For you, okay, for you, please don't. Okay. But even if they held a grudge against him, would they really have gone this far? Torture wounds has been added to the truth bullets. Alright, there was that. There's, I guess, yeah, let's look at the giant-ass spear shoved into his chest. A spear with a flashy ornament on it is impaled deeply into Nagito's stomach. There's no way around it. That looks like the fatal wound. Oh my! What's this? Such a strange-looking spear, isn't it? A cord extends from the tip of the handle, and there's an iron weight attached to it. I see. You use the cord as a whip to capture the enemy and deliver the final blow with the spear. Is this your first time looking at this too? Of course not. This is the spear of Gungnir, right? Yeah, sure. The question now is this a Norse mythology reference, or is this just a Danganronpa 1 reference? Ah, crap. Sorry. No, I'm fine. I just accidentally minimized it. Okay. There we go. You definitely just came up with that now. By the way, I want to ask you, where did that spear come from? I feel like I saw it at Nezumi Castle. What? Nezumi Castle? I was designed to be afraid of mice, so I can't go in there. Damn you, mice! Damn you all to hell! I see. Even he doesn't know what's inside that castle. Yeah, it was in Nezumi Castle, so we're probably gonna have to check that for the investigation as well. Anyway. Well, more importantly, I need to focus on the investigation. The spear definitely catches my eye, but the weight on the end of the cord coming out of the handle? It looks like that part has blood on it too. But for some reason, this section of the cord doesn't have blood on it. It's about the size of a human fist. It's strange this section of the cord doesn't have blood on it. Also, Chiaki mentioned this earlier, but apparently that spear came from Nezumi Castle. Might be better if I confirm that later. Okay, Monokuma, are you a man or a mouse? No, he's neither. He's Doraemon, so, you know. Anyway, it's actually... Hang on. They call it the Spear of Gungnir there. Why? Hang on. Alright, we'll call it that. We'll call it the Spear of Gungnir. Fine. Anyway, okay, no, that's just everything about the spear. So, let's not look at his face. What about his left hand? There's a cut on his upper left arm. His legs and right hands have slice wounds. Oh, sorry. His legs and right hand have stab wounds, but this wound looks like a slice. That's probably the reason why the wound on his left arm doesn't look that deep compared to his other wounds. But regardless, doesn't change the fact that it's a hideous wound and there's blood everywhere. There's something strange. Strange? What? Look at the palm of his left hand. I think that blood is from when his left arm was sliced. Doesn't the blood splatter look strange? It cuts off right in the middle of his palm. Yeah, it definitely cuts off. Maybe that's as far as the blood could reach when it splattered. Well, that would explain the blood on his palm, but... There's something else that's strange. When you flip it over and look at the back of his hand, there's also blood, but only above the middle joint of each finger. Right, why is it only on this part? See, it's just as I said, right? It's strange, right? I win. Yeah, sure. You win. But Chiaki, well, you had to amuse yourself somehow. Definitely strange. What did the killer do to make the blood splatter like this? Blood on the left hand. I think you might have. Actually, no. Never mind. I can check this stuff, during the trial as well. But some of these truth bullets look very similar to each other, so you have to remember what we're referring to. This is how you know this is essentially not the final boss, but close to the end of the game. There is a knife in his hand. The knife is stabbed through Nagito's right hand. Does the killer do this? How could they do something so cruel? This knife, it must be from the military base. Military base? Now that you mention it, you're right. It looks like a survival knife. Oh, never mind. I was just thinking that it also kind of looks like the knife that Mukuro has, but I don't know if that's actually, because I think I'm pretty sure this isn't a plot point or anything. This is just me wanting to grab every bit of juicy lore out of this game that I can. Presents. There is a present that's called Mukuro's knife, I'm pretty sure. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but it's probably kind of like that sort of knife, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, spoilers because the presents. Anyway, yeah, looks like a survival knife. By the way, it seems like the wounds on his legs and left arm are caused by that same knife. Which means after the killer was finished stabbing Nagito's legs and left arms, they stabbed the knife through his right hand? And then they finished him off with the spear. How cruel! Then does that mean the killer went to the trouble of using two weapons? A knife and a spear? But they could have just killed him by stabbing him with the knife. Why did they even use a spear at all? That is definitely strange. Was there a reason they had to use it? A reason they had to use the spear. Huh. Alright, and then there's the rope here. Nagito's right wrist is tied with a rope, but it looks like the tip of that rope burnt off. Could this be a result of the fire? But that's weird. If the rope is burnt off like this, why are Nagito's clothes completely unaffected by the fire when he was so close to the blaze? Interesting. How did that... Interesting. And I think the only things left... Alright, let's stare into those horrifying eyes. He must have been in great pain. He clearly had this agonizing look on his face when he died. His mouth is covered with duct tape. Is this to keep Nagito from screaming for help? Jeez, what a horrible look on his face. The blood splattered all over it doesn't help either. It's a good thing his mouth is covered with duct tape, otherwise I wouldn't be able to look at him. Got a minute? Sorry, excuse me. Chiaki moved past Kazuichi and me and squatted down next to Nagito's face. Oh god. Oh, yeah, that looks way worse. That looks way worse. And in one swift movement, she ripped the duct tape off of his mouth. Hey, what are you doing? It'll be fine. I'll put it back right away once I'm done investigating here. But putting the tape back isn't an issue, you ungrateful swine! You're gonna get cursed! The blood on Nagito's face. It looks like it mostly came from the slice in his left arm. If that's the case... It's no use. She's not listening. Hey, about the blood splattered on his face. There's no blood under the duct tape. What's wrong with that? This duct tape has crinkles, like it was sticking towards the inside of his mouth, right? Nagito was probably desperately moving his mouth under the duct tape. Seriously, what's wrong with that? She means Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he got those wounds all over his body. So he tried to shout, which caused the duct tape to get sucked into his mouth a bit. But what's wrong with that? Is that something we really need to worry about? I don't really get it. Just put the duct tape back on his mouth already. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, this might be some kind of clue too. I should remember it. Yay! I guess I'm done with the area surrounding Nagito's body. Jeez, I can't believe I actually investigated such a grisly-looking body. Look at me, it's like I'm becoming the ultimate detective, and I'd be normally happy about that. It'd be like, hey, maybe I've got a talent after all, but not in a situation like this. Even I'm surprised myself. Does this mean I'm used to it? My classmate's dead body is right in front of me, and one of my peers is the killer responsible? And I have to investigate his death so I can find his killer. Am I used to something as abnormal as that? That would mean I'm becoming abnormal too. Oh, Hajime. Now then, I guess that's enough investigating the area behind the curtain. The man behind the curtain, it's Nagito Komaeda. The killer's goal wasn't just killing Nagito. There should have been another reason as well. If not, they wouldn't have gone through the trouble of tying him with rope and covering his mouth with duct tape. Not just that, there's no reason to inflict any wounds other than a fatal one. So, what was the reason? Looks like I better investigate other areas to figure that out. Alright, I should try investigating the other areas inside this warehouse first. Alright, so... yeah. I think when we do this... Yeah, there we go. And so now it has the full big one. It's not that bad, Hajime. It just means you're used to violence now. He's like 16 or something. He shouldn't be used to this. But at the same time, poor Hajime. Looks like... Oh, okay, they have new dialogue here. This side is completely soaked because of the sprinkler. Even if there was an important clue here, we might not be able to notice it. But it's better than the warehouse burning to the ground. Good thing we were able to put out the fire. There was a lot of smoke. It's a good thing we didn't go inside when we were throwing the grenades. I agree. If we did, we would have been caught by the sprinklers and become all wet and soggy. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. No. No. I wasn't thinking that because I treat Sonia like a human being, okay, Monokuma? That was a very suspicious denial, Kazuichi. Why are you responding, Kazuichi? I was asking Hajime. You're screwing with me? Oh my, screwing! How lewd! Okay, that was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. Please don't look at me with such fearful eyes. I only imagined it for a second. Oh, Kazu. I'd say, is it good that he's being honest or bad that he's being a simp? Kazuichi, you should probably just keep your mouth shut already. And yeah, Akane was already used to this and a lot worse before, to be fair. Yeah, it's true. I mean, like Robin, you know, I haven't really explained this. Like, basically, when you find out Akane's backstory and her free time events, basically she had a pretty shitty life, filled with essentially being dirt poor, basically no food, no money, all of these kids to look after, and a whole bunch of men just constantly using her for like sexual favors, and her not really minding too much because she gets money from it. It's something. Well, even though I did say I was gonna frickin' kill him, there's no way I would have actually done it. I was just upset, you know. Honestly, I'd believe you guys if it wasn't for the fact that Monokuma said that it was one of us. We'll think about the countdown after we live through the class trial. Looks like Sonia is focused on investigating the warehouse. Which reminds me, there's something I needed to ask her about. Now that we've pretty much finished investigating Nagito's body, I think it's time to talk to her. Hey, Sonia, do you have a minute? Yes, what is it? I want to talk to you about when that fake bomb Nagito set in the warehouse exploded. Right before it exploded, you said something like this, right? It is all right. It is not a bomb. Why did you know that the bombs were a fake? Oh, hey, Ramses. Sorry, you came in a little bit late, but you haven't missed too much. We just investigating Nagito's horrible, horrible dead body. Well, that's not all either. When we were looking for the bombs, why were you at the military base? I thought you were supposed to be searching the central island. Plus, when I called for you, you didn't come to the factory right away. Where were you and what were you doing during that time? Sonia is hella sus right now. Sonia, you're being hella sus. Were you have you been scanned? You weren't doing your tasks, Sonia. You weren't doing your tasks. Oh my. Do you suspect me? It is a misunderstanding. I am not the killer. Jesus! Shit! You son of a bitch! Sonia? I am terribly sorry. I was panicking. I shall calm down and explain to you why I was at the military base. When I first explored the final island, I discovered a vast amount of bombs there. Huh? And yes, Sonia obviously swears like a sailor in English when she gets upset. Obviously. That's just how it works. At first, I was worried that someone might use them for nefarious reasons if I announced it to everyone. So, I kept silent the whole time. Does that mean when you heard Nagito planted bombs, you got suspicious and went to investigate them? And as I suspected, the bombs had disappeared. I thoroughly searched for them inside the military base, but the bombs were nowhere to be found. And because you were searching for them, you were late when we all gathered? And because of that, I reached a conclusion. The bombs Nagito brought were from the military base, which meant that they were fake bombs. How did you find out that the bombs at the military base were fake? Because I attempted to use one of them. Which is, God, I love Sonia. She's like, you know, it's just like, I mean, she's basically Gabmoe the character, but yeah, it's like, you know, this beautiful blonde-haired princess, and then she's like, I decided to use a bomb of my own volition. Oh, what? I thought one of the bombs would be strong enough to blast open the door to the ancient ruin. At the time, I still believed the bombs were real, and I thought that I could use one of them to gain entrance to the ancient ruin. Oh, that's cute.
そうか。それでお前だけが軍事施設の爆弾が偽物だって知ってたのか。
私とモノミさんもですね。彼女もそれをこっそり覗き見していましたから。
I mean, apparently actually, I don't remember if she said this. I think she said this at one point, but like, you know, Monomi has super sensitive ears, so yeah, if a firework came off, she'd probably definitely at least be able to hear it and would come over to check, so, yeah. If those bombs are the same ones that disappeared, it would mean Nagito took them. That is why I knew it was a fake. However, I did think it was strange when Nagito blew up the hotel lobby. Yeah, that was definitely a bomb. That was a real bomb. That bomb was real, and I could not stop thinking about it. But upon further reflection, that might have been Nagito's plan all along. He showed us a real bomb to make us believe that the bombs he set were real as well. If so, then Nagito's actions were extremely calculated. But the problem is his reason for doing it. With this, I have explained everything. There should be no more reason for you to doubt me. You're right. Got it. Sonia's account. Alright. What does Akane have to say anyway? Oh no, that's the same. Okay, that dialogue's all the same. Oh crap. What about the books? Are the books a clue? This ring will completely soak them. I can't even turn the pages. I can't even turn to the pages anymore. Hi, typo. Well, it's not like I'm missing much. Yes. All that got soaked was a bunch of Monokuma merch. All these CDs are all copies of Monokuma's music. Should have been burned too. That's it? Okay. Fine. Wait, no. Oh yeah, that's the MP3 player. This is an MP3 player. There's even a speaker plugged into it. This was back when we used iPods. But why is this here? It looks like that weird music was playing from there. Yeah, you mean that ominous Latin chanting? God, what was that? You know the music that was blaring when the fire started? Yeah, you're right. It looks like it's burst from getting drenched by the sprinklers. There's no mistaking it. That music was playing from the MP3 player. I don't disagree with that, but why was the killer playing music from this? None of this is making any sense! Knowing that no one will ever read them again because of water fills me with joy. I mean, in a way, I'm almost sad because I'm missing out extra flavor text, but oh well. You can't have everything. This game will end one day, which is sad. But hey, then I can just talk about it again and again and again. I mean, I'm not that crazy. It's just more like, you know, maybe once I finish this playthrough, maybe I'll finally get a video about it. I'll just have to work out what. There are a lot of tipped over Monokuma panels. The panel near the curtain in the back is tipped over and burnt. Did the fire do that? But why are they scattered like this? The last time I came here, I seem to recall they should have been neatly put away. Maybe we're the ones who made this mess. Huh? Look, the tipped over panel by the entrance is really close to the door, right? So maybe the reasons these panels are tipped over is... Listen, I remember what the old MP3 players were like, don't worry. It's fine, I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Seriously, I'll be fine. With those words, Akane brushed off everyone's warnings and slowly opened the door. Oh yeah. Huh? It's not opening? Is there something blocking the door? I can barely open it. I knew it's a trap! Seriously, just stop it, okay? Didn't I tell you it'll be fine? I just gotta use a little more force. What happened to opening it slowly? Akane opened their protest, and with a mighty kick, the door flew open. Could it be... was that it? And there's something else I've been wondering. These Monokuma panels are tipped over starting from the entrance to the back of the warehouse, right? They seem to be lying on top of each other in a straight line. Yeah, compared to the other tipped over panels, that line is the only one that's neat and orderly. Isn't this clearly strange? Strange? That means we can speculate that this was done intentionally. Is that everything? Yep. Yeah. Alright, that's in the warehouse. Let's find some clues, but there are still so many things I don't understand yet. You look worried. Yeah, I am. At a time like this, it might be good if you broaden your investigation range. You mean it's good to investigate other places as well? She might be right. There are several things I've been wondering about besides the crime scene. The military base that Sonia mentioned, the plushie factory next door, Nezumi Castle, where the spear originally came from, and Nagito's room, too. If I'm going to understand the reason for his actions, I need to know more about him. Which is kind of almost ironic in a way, because especially when if you do any of Nagito's free time events, the whole idea with Hajime is basically like, I want to know more about you. I want to understand you because I don't understand you. You go around and talk about hope. You try to murder everybody. You try to stab them with a knife in the dark. You just like, you used to like me and all of a sudden then you started hating me. I just want to understand what the hell your deal is. And now, you know, Hajime has to do that, but only after he dies. I'm pretty sure, and yeah, you know, maybe we might get a Danganronpa. Well, I mean, you know we're not going to get a Danganronpa V4 for obvious reasons because of the ending of V3, but it really, I mean, I assume, you know, the whole point of the, you know, the reason why I'd assume they wouldn't make that a Danganronpa game now is because Kodaka, who's the main, you know, writer essentially for Danganronpa, he left Spike Chunsoft, and he's got his own little kind of, I don't even really know what you would call two cute games, because it seems like it's more like, it's kind of like that thing that Keiji Inafune did with whatever his company was called, I forgot, where it's basically like, it seems like it's more just like a place to kind of come up with ideas for IPs and stuff and sort of send them off to other people than it is like an actual game production studio. At least that's what I assume. Because I played, you know, if you guys like Danganronpa and also if you like Zero Escape, I suggest you play World's End Club. You can play it on the iOS with the Apple Arcade if you've got an Apple Arcade subscription. You can even use the free trial and play World End Club. I played it and I honestly enjoyed it quite a lot. And it's not actually finished yet. It's like a demo. The rest of the game is going to come out next year. But it's got about 70% of the game, and you can play with a free trial, and I want somebody to play it as well because I like have no one to talk about it with because no one else has played it because it's like... Anyway, let's go. I'm pretty sure the others have already finished investigating. Hey, you guys, isn't it about time we leave this place and try exploring other areas too? In response to Chiaki, the others gathered around her. I agree. I was just thinking about proceeding to another area. It seems we had the same idea.
Huh?
But is it safe? There won't be anyone to guard the crime scene. We don't have a choice. There just aren't enough of us. Besides, we've investigated all we can here. I guess you're right. Also, it looks like the clues we found aren't enough to piece this incident together. So, we need to search for them in other areas. Probably. Well, alternatively, if there aren't any clues in other areas either, we'd have to give up completely. You don't really need to say that.
No.
That's okay if we leave this place? It's okay? Well, apparently, yes. There's no time for us to stand around. In order to survive, there's no other way except to do it. In order to survive, we need to find Nagito's killer. If we don't sacrifice that person, nobody can survive. That's our reality. That's why there's no time for us to stand around. Alright, so we did say, I think they said the plushie factory is one of the places we've got to go to. So, let's go there first. I mean, we're right here. Oh, hey, Cass. Hey, Yoshi, Cass. I know, right? I was like totally just like, I spent like the first 2 minutes of this just completely like rocking out to this music because it's the best. I am such a bad girl. I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone in my life. The life side, okay, no clues there. Hi, Sonia. I have never seen so many Monokumas in my life. Well, Monokuma isn't exactly someone you would normally run into. Yeah, I was gonna make the sassy comment, and then Hajime did it for me. Thank you, Hajime. However, while I was staring at all these Monokumas, a thought occurred to me. The bomb that went off at the lobby might have been set up here. Huh? Yeah, huh? If you hide the bomb inside a Monokuma plushie, it would make a frightening weapon. Do you not think that the group that is forcing us to kill each other would devise something like that? I mean, no, but I wouldn't assume that. But I mean, in Danganronpa 1, the Monokumas did have bombs inside of them, so you're getting oddly accurate. And yeah, say you were a side commentator for the first ever Kirby's Finest 2 tourney. That's cool. I was thinking about getting that game, but like then I saw it costed money, and I was like, I thought the first one was free to play, so that's cool. That's very cool. A plushie bomb is an act of terrorism. Let us rip these apart right away so we can confirm it. Oh, hold on. If there was a bomb inside these, wouldn't it explode if we carelessly messed with it? Either way, it is all gravy. All great. What the hell does that mean? Stop! There's no bomb! You'll know if you just pick me up, see? All you'll feel is the soft weight of cotton. You are right. Wait, did she actually pick him up? Oh my god. This is why this needs to be animated. And it's never going to be animated because they said that this game is this plot is not going to work in an anime, so oh well. Then where did Nagito obtain the bomb he used? I wonder. If I'm gonna give you guys a hint, then you should know it wasn't from the military base. To tell you the truth, the bombs there are all fakes. I know that already. You should have said so earlier. Well, I thought if I kept quiet, it would foreshadow that a killing was gonna happen. Wait, what? That's why I'm just now telling you for the first time. Phew, I feel relieved. Why would that? You know what? I don't even understand anymore. But if the bomb wasn't from the military base or this factory, then he brought it from the Octagon. I must say, you have a good eye there, Sonia. Putting a bomb inside one of my plushies seems like a splendid idea. Let's try it. Did I say something I should not have said? That's interesting. Okay, like that doesn't actually make any sense because this isn't a prequel to Danganronpa 1. It can't be, because they mentioned the events of Danganronpa 1 in the past tense with that Future Foundation file. So this is definitely happens after Danganronpa 1, but Monokuma's there is acting like he didn't even think about the idea until Sonia brought it up. Interesting. And yeah, I'm waiting for a Danganronpa and an Ace Attorney-like game where the killer wins. Yeah, you mentioned that. There's a fan game, I think a Korean fan game that's been it's kind of pretty big amongst the Danganronpa fan games. I think it's like Super Danganronpa and another two, and in there one of the plot twists, one of the ideas for the murder is when the Blackened actually gets away with it. But they end up surviving, but I don't exactly know why. But the Blackened actually does get away with murder. It's not your fault. Don't worry about it. Monokuma's account. Alright. Actually, if I press that again, will it say something different? Or... no. Alright. What about the laptop? That reminds me, when we saw Nagito's video message on this laptop, is he still watching us from somewhere? If he's not, how did he time the message so perfectly? No, it looks like the video was set to play after the explosion by a wireless signal from the detonator. But why do you have to use a video message? That's the one thing I don't get. Yeah. At the time, Nagito should have already been killed, which means that video was recorded in advance. That's right. Besides that video, there might be data on this laptop that could be used as a clue. With that thought in mind, I tried messing around with the laptop, but it's no use. It's locked. There's no way I can examine this. But if it's locked, then maybe there really is something inside. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe, maybe not. It's an enormous machine, yeah. Okay, no, that's not a clue. Apparently the bombs that were stuffed in this truck were actually fireworks. truck looks like it came from the military base. Oh! Oh! I remember earlier, someone in the chat was like, hey, it said that this truck runs, and couldn't they have used that, taken the engine and used that to get off the island? Well, I guess this is your response. Even if they had figured that out, Nagito then hijacked it for his little fake bomb hoax thing. So, I don't think they can use the engine now. Damn. Other than that, it's nothing. Okay, nothing in particular. There you go. You learn something new every day. Anyway, we can finally now go into the break room. This is where we obtained the fire grenades. Anything inside? There's nothing on the floor. Oh, no, never mind. There's nothing on the floor that looks like a clue, not even trash. Okay, so we can't actually go in there. That's very weird. Huh. Okay. I thought we could, maybe we can go back a bit. I can't remember. The break room is kind of important, but you won't sort of understand why until much, much later. Is all the same, yeah. All right, so I'd say the hang on outside monochrome flashing outside, yes. But yes, that's probably why they said that. Whoa, lag there. That's probably why they said, you know, what you call it. It's probably why they said that car still ran, to explain how Nagito managed to get the truck all the way over to the plushie factory. Anyway, the military base. Let's punch the helicopter one more time. And break our hand. It's that dreadful helicopter. The one that executed Teru. Doesn't have anything to do with the incident. But I really want to punch it again. Oh, those are just those. Alright. When I tried looking through the truck bed, it's empty. Nothing's here. When I first came here, there was something on the truck bed, which meant Sonia was telling the truth. The bombs had disappeared. And they were nowhere to be found. But did Nagito know the bombs weren't real? It's possible he thought they were the real thing. No, never mind. He said that in his video message. So, were you surprised? Seriously, think about it. Do you really think that there are enough bombs to blow up an entire island? Even if they were, a guy like me would never be able to use them. He knew the bombs were fake. He only did what he did to weed out the traitor. No, is that really it? Did Nagito only do that to expose the traitor? Maybe there was a different motive behind his actions. About Kazuichi, what do you have? Damn it. This dangerous place is the reason all this messed up stuff is happening. Even guns out in the open is totally dangerous. Seriously, they gotta take better care of these. It's easy to say that, but there's no one on this island who could do that. Yeah, we're the only ones here, true. Huge supply of guns and other firearms in the truck. Found it! Oh, what did you find? Nagito even when dead playing mind games? Oh, trust me, this entire trial is basically just like, I thought Nagito was dead. I thought that means it's the end of all this cryptic bullshit. But Nagito is torturing us even from beyond the grave. Why does he have to do this? Anyway, well, that truck bed over there has guns in it, but I also found stuff like a survival knife. Wait, is that the same type of knife that was stabbed through Nagito's right hand? Which means the killer obtained that knife here. So the killer is someone who visited this military base at least once. That's everyone, though. Nope, not me. This is the first time I've been here. That sounds fishy. If the bombs are fake, this might be fake too. But I'm not brave enough to check for myself. Wait, is that it? Okay, so you actually don't... I don't see any other... interesting. They said to check out the military base, but there's no actual truth bullets here. I guess it's just confirming stuff. Okay, I'm being very stupid. Why am I doing? I wanted to see if Kazumichi has any extra dialogue. I'm so bad. I'm sorry, guys. Why do I do this? All right, now I'll leave. I mean, you know, like if you like living on this island wouldn't be too bad if you had people with you, maybe. You know. Can we actually go in here? Oh, we actually can, but there's nothing around here, I'm pretty sure. No, there's nothing around here. That's weird. I didn't realize you could do that. Hang on. Yeah, okay, so they're just saying, alright, okay. No crazy people. If there's no crazy people, and Hajime and Akane. Yeah. Hang on. Central Island. Wait, where? The vendor street? No. Okay, so alright, let's go. So now, I think, alright. So I think the only things left now, so we need to go back to the 4th island. I live on the island with them. Hey, I would too. I mean, they would sound like they'd be fun to hang out with. You know? I want to hang out with them. I know they're not real. Anyway, I don't know why I'm checking the pet. It's not going to grow up by the time I finish the game, but you know. Roller coaster. No. I'm talking the castle. Here we go. No, okay, just inside. Let's go. Mikan would be fine if she wasn't crazy. I mean, isn't that like the story of Danganronpa? This character would have been great if it didn't turn out they were crazy. Lens flare! Lens flare! Lens flare! Sorry, I'm having too much fun with that. Hi, Fu. Look at that well of spears. I guess it's obvious where the weapon came from. See, the thing about it is, I'm not really the biggest fan of Mikan, but not in terms of like, you know, see, there are some people who just think Mikan's just badly written in terms of that she's just there for like the fan service and the gags. I just don't really like her archetype very much. I don't know. But she's growing on me a bit more, I think. Password to guide everyone to the future is... What is it? What's the password? What's the password? He's the only one who knows. And we can't get the password? No, we should deal with that later. Right now, investigating the case comes first. Yeah, add the DR2 survivors to the DR1 survivors to the DR2 island. I mean, you know, I'm sure Makoto and Hajime would just be total bros bonding over the fact that they're the only sane ones in the members of their class because everybody else is ridiculous. A spear with a flashy ornament on is hanging from the wall. The spear is definitely it, right? Just as I thought. Looks exactly like the spear that killed Nagito. I used to think that the game was shipping her and Hajime until you find out she's crazy. I mean, like, yes. Well, the game kind of, especially like when you do the free time events, the game's shipping everyone with Hajime basically, even the boys. In some ways, arguably, especially the boys. And yes, like I said, that's the other thing. Akane would love Sakura because Sakura would just be such a good martial artist, mentor person. It'd be great. They would get along so well. But poor Sakura. She didn't deserve to die. She didn't deserve to die, Sakura. Right. The same whip-like cord is attached to the handle. There's a weight at the end of it. Yep. Looks like one of the spears on the wall is missing. There's no mistaking it. The killer took one of the spears and used it as a weapon. Spear of Gungnir, right? Monokuma would totally come up with a lame name like that. But why did the killer use a spear and a knife? Yeah, they could have just killed him with the knife, and it would have been easier too. No way a spear like this with the unnecessary cord thing on it would be easy to use. Definitely looks hard to wield. But still, they chose this spear for a reason. What could that reason be? Dot 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 dot. Oh, music's fading out. I feel a little tired. No matter how much I investigate, I don't feel any closer to the truth. It's probably why I feel this way. I'm feeling this strange feeling that I've never felt before. As if Nagito is trying to make us suffer, even after he's died. Like I said, Robin, I told you, like I said, this is what this case is. Well, now's not the time to think about stupid things like that. I haven't even investigated his cottage yet. It's too early to start complaining. If we investigate that place, we might be able to find some kind of clue. Alright, let's go.
なるほどね。
Yeah.
そうか。
Maybe this spear was actually used for torture too. Torture, huh? And see, that's the thing. Okay, you know what? I won't talk about Mikan too much because then I might accidentally spoil it. But her symptoms were very different to everybody else's. Can I go into Monomi's house? I can. I mean, there's nothing here, I'm pretty sure. But I just want to see. Number of license. Yeah. Also, like this is a clue to the incident. You don't know. Maybe the Monomi plushies are a clue to the incident. I don't know. I think that's like my favorite part of it. I don't know. God, there we go. We've been doing this thing. The lights were supposed to automatically come on today, and I was a bit worried because they only come around lunchtime. But yay, they finally came on. Great. Now I can see a bit better. Yeah, a lot of people got a bad from that chapter. That's true. First island, right? The camera girl made a stupid decision of talking to a Yakuza alone. I mean, like, see, that's the thing about Mahiru. I mean, well, no, she's flawed, but she's flawed in a realistic way because, like, she's just a very blunt and honest person, and she probably oftentimes assumes the best of people, where she's essentially like, hey, you know what? I think it's fair enough, like, if we just talk about this thing that we don't even know is real or not, then it should be fine. He's not actually planning to murder me for revenge, right? And, well, we all know what happened then. Let's go. The only person we haven't talked to yet is Chiaki. I was gonna say, like, what happens when you investigate Nagito's, but, like, no, you have to actually go into Nagito's cottage. What am I talking about? No poop yet. Can I go into my room? I don't know why I'm procrastinating. I don't know. I love this game. There's no way my cottage contains any clues to the incident. You don't know that. Maybe Kazuichi's cottage does. No, okay, no it doesn't. Alright, we have to go into Nagito's room. Hi, Chiaki. Oh my, you want to go inside Nagito's room too? Hajime. I was just listening to Chiaki's request. She wants me to unlock the door to Nagito's cottage because she really needs it for the class trial. She begged me to do it while she was licking my black eye. I didn't do that. Then do it! It's sweet because it's made out of black beans. Hey, we don't have time to mess around. Hurry up and unlock the damn door. Hajime, I love you. Fine, fine. I guess I have no choice. I just gotta do that, right? Now then. See? I've opened the door. You can freely investigate now. This isn't my first time seeing that, but why does the door open with a spell like that? Maybe the cottage key is computerized? More importantly, let's go inside now that the door is open. Yeah, you're right. Cottage. Nagito Komaeda. You know, Oh. I'm just like, okay. I was just like, you know what? Oh, no, never mind. We did, and we actually did see his cottage beforehand. We saw it at the very end of chapter 4 when he's like, just monologuing to himself. So, Nagito was living here. What was he thinking inside this room? What was he feeling as he spent his days in here? I can't even imagine. Okay, I don't ship Komahina, but I get it. Alright, I'm getting it. That he's going to his room being like, what was he thinking? What was he feeling? Alright, I get it. I understand. Wanting to see absolute hope. Becoming despair so he could act as a stepping stone for the rest of us. No matter how much I think about it, I just don't understand him at all. I don't even know if he truly believed that. He was especially weird these past few days. What changed him? Maybe the clue to that might be hidden here as well. It's like, yeah, get me out of his head and his room, please, ASAP. That's the thing. You don't want to have to think like Nagito, but we might have to if we have any chance of surviving. Sometimes even people you hate, even then, sometimes you have to acknowledge them. You have to accept that they were real. I was expecting it to be more looking like a crazy conspiracy theorist room with messy newspapers everywhere. Okay, you know Nagito... I was gonna say, yeah, like, you know Nagito would just have the whiteboard with all of everybody's, like, faces on it with, like, you know, connecting all of the different dots and being like, are you the traitor? Are you the traitor? Are you the traitor? And then I joke, but then I just remembered that Kokichi in V3 literally had that kind of thing. Where he's like, you know... You go into his room, and his room's also just like, are they an ally? Are they an ally? Are they an ally? But yeah, Nagito would totally have that. There we go. I knew it. Okay, it said it was in Nagito's room. Did you see it? The last hidden Monokuma. Well, no, it's not the last hidden Monokuma. There are hidden Monokumas in chapter 6, but the last one for chapter 5. And of course it's Nagi. Of course it's in the fucking shower, because of course he would hide in the shower being like, you went in the shower to find a hidden Monokuma. And yes, it is great music. I'm glad you also appreciate the absolute banger that is, well, Kill Command or Ikaroshia or whatever the hell it is. Yeah! That's all of them for chapter 5 done. I'm on my way. I'm on my way to actually finishing all the hidden Monokumas for the first time. Oh, I mean, the stream seems fine on my end, so it must be on your end. Robin? Wait, you can look into the bathroom, really? Since it's structured just like my room, the shower room is over here. Look if there aren't any clues here. Damn, there's no clues in the bathroom? Ding. The basic layout is just like my cottage. There's nothing about this window that really catches my eye. Come on, typos. This music is the second reason I want Hajime in Smash. Fine for me. Oh, yeah. I mean... Okay, I'll tell you, you can't have Hajime... Sadly... If you're going to put in anyone in Smash, Hajime would be like probably the least likely and least fitting person to put into Smash. Cause you know, he's just an ordinary guy. Like, you know, if you're going to do it, it would be Monokuma. You would put Monokuma in Smash. One, he's the mascot. 2, he's, you know, kind of ridiculous and goofy enough so that he can have, you know, as opposed to just being like pulling out a fucking gun for your special, you know, he can have like some of the spears of Goodyear, or, you know, his basic attack can be the slashing stuff with the claws that they have in the Monokuma bot and Ultra Despair Girls, and I don't know, maybe like a punishment time thing? Yeah, and yeah, kids love Monokuma, exactly.
Our time for investigating is winding down. The bookshelf might take some time to investigate, so we should try examining some other areas first.
What happens when we click the bookshelf? What do we do? What happens? There's a lot of books arranged here. Did Nagito bring these from the library? Nagito, please tell me you have a library card and you're paying your dues. I hope they're not overdue. In addition to books, there's a bunch of random crap stuffed onto the shelf. Okay, yeah, and then they're saying, let's just leave it for later. Yeah, if it was a human, it could be Junko, or yeah, you're right. It could be. You could do Kamaru and then Toko from Ultra Despair Girls, the duo thing. Like, you know, it could be definitely very fun. It could be like like when we used to have the Zelda and Sheik thing, where, you know, you can switch between playing as Kamaru and playing as Genocide Jack whenever you want. That could have been, you know, it would work for a Smash moveset as well, but Ultra Despair Girls, I don't know. It's a spin-off game, so it would be a bit weird to make that the Danganronpa representative. It's the bed that comes with the cottage. It looks just like the one in my room, but
Maybe there's something hidden under his bed. It's a usual place for hiding things.
yeah, like porn. Wow, okay, never mind. Hajime is not as naive as I thought. Hajime, do you hide porn under your bed? Well, we should still check just in case. With no expectations and without thinking, I peeked under the bed and there's something here. It's a plastic bag from the supermarket. It looked like there's something inside. What is this?
It looks like a gas mask and rubber gloves. These look like the real deal. Did we get these from the military base?
A gas mask and rubber gloves? He was hiding these under his bed. What did Nagito use this stuff for? Hajime, just put porn on your phone like a normal human. What do you mean? Why would you put porn on your phone? Then anybody can just look over your shoulder while you're just browsing porn on your bus on the train on the way to work, and then feel really awkward about it.
Hajime, was there anything else under the bed?
Let's see. I peeked under the bed, started looking around, and there's a small piece of paper on the floor. A piece of paper made of blue aluminium.
A round, thin piece of aluminium, huh?
Wait, okay, I know I'm gonna... Wait, then is it actually aluminum then, or not aluminium? I don't... Is it aluminum or aluminium? I'm now confused. Maybe it's both. And they're saying aluminum right now, so I guess aluminum.
It's similar to those seals that go over jars of unopened mayonnaise.
Oh yeah, or those like the ones of orange juice as well. I get what you're saying, but does that mean this is just a piece of trash?
Who knows?
It might be too soon to decide that. I mean, this is Nagito we're talking about. Okay, so... Wait. I am not looking in Monomi's treasure box. Let's look at the fridge. Why does he have a fridge? There's a refrigerator. That's their fault. Stop looking at my phone, weirdos.
Nice. My cottage doesn't even have a refrigerator. I wonder where he got it from.
Nagito probably supplied it himself.
Why would he go to the trouble of putting a refrigerator in his room?
Does he really enjoy cold drinks? As I talked with Chiaki, I opened the refrigerator out of curiosity. Hey Chiaki, you want a drink? Oh. There really isn't much inside. The only thing inside this refrigerator was a brown bottle. Oh no.
For someone who likes cold drinks, it doesn't look like he's stocked very much. But that bottle clearly isn't a drink, right?
Really? It looks like some kind of dietary supplement to me. Protein plant. No, that was the last game. That's the last game. And in all honesty, I don't know why. What's I gonna say? I don't know why a protein powder would be in a bottle like that. Speaking as I guess essentially a trained chemist, generally the reason why you have bottles like those bottles are generally, I'm pretty sure they're there for like UV protection. So if you've got stuff that like degrades under lights and stuff, it like stops a lot of that kind of light getting into it. I think that's what it is for, and I don't think protein powder degrades, but you know what? I don't know. I've never worked with protein stuff before. And yeah, he got it from the dead room because you can use it to freeze someone to death. You make that joke also, in that fan game as well, there was also somebody who died by getting stuff into the refrigerator until they froze to death, so... I mean, that's a fan game, but still. I took the brown bottle out of the fridge and started reading the label. Exclusively made for poisoning someone to death? Hey, this is...
Yeah, looks like it's poison.
Poison?
Huh? Looks like there's a warning label on the back. Let's examine it in a little more detail. But be careful with that bottle. Don't drop it.
Stop it. If you worry like that, I'm gonna get nervous. I grabbed the bottle with my trembling hand and began reading the warning label on the back of the bottle. Poison made specifically for killing someone. It's Monokuma's special poison. This enchanted liquid is highly potent and takes effect immediately. Please handle with care. Though its volatility is low, this liquid is very dangerous when vaporized. In a gaseous state, it is heavier than air, it breaks down in minutes, and it is susceptible to hydrolysis. So it is possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications. Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool place in a glass or plastic container away from sunlight. It's really You know, I get the feeling that Kodaka or whoever actually like went to like, you know, ask somebody if anyone has like in a chemistry lab or something, being like, hey, do you have any like dangerous poisonous things? I want to look at the warning labels and what it looks like so I can copy it for my game, because it's quite accurate over what like a dangerous bottle of poison would look like. If Hajime drank that poison, would Monokuma have to make a new trial? Probably. Well, I mean, either way, there'd be a body discovery announcement, and then they would say, well, you'd probably have to discover... It depends if who he believes is Nagito's killer and who he believes is Hajime's killer in this extent. In the, you know, if Hajime drank the poison, but he didn't know it was it from Nagito's room that Nagito grabbed, would Nagito be the black and Hajime dead even if Nagito's dead? I don't even know. Anyway, nice, yeah. Anyway, yeah, if the killer killed someone during the investigation, would Monokuma have to make a new trial for that too? I mean, Timmy Bird, you know that happens in V3, remember? That happens, specifically happens in V3, so, yeah.
This sure looks like a chemical made solely for poisoning someone to death. This refrigerator must be here to keep the poison secure.
But where did Nagito get something like this? Yeah, speaking from experience, it's probably like, you don't even necessarily want to keep the poisons in the refrigerator because it can last longer. The problem is you don't want, if the poison, you know, is in a warmer state, it might start like going off, or, you know, in this case, since its volatility is low, it would start turning into gas, and then you start getting a whole bunch of poison gas in your room, and then what are you gonna do? You're probably gonna accidentally die.
That question could apply to the bomb he used at the hotel, too.
Apply to the bomb?
There should be a reason Nagito was able to obtain such dangerous items.
The octagon inside the funhouse. This poison, he must have brought it with him from there too, right?
He was probably hiding them somewhere on his body during the last class trial. I mean, his hoodie's really overlarge and probably has pockets that he could put it in.
He was hiding a bomb and poison during the class trial?
Jeez, how dangerous. What would he have done if he accidentally tripped and broke the bottle?
Just thinking about scares me.
Also, he already blew up the bomb he took with him at the lobby.
But what about
this poison?
sorry. Let me just.
It looks like the bottle is less than half empty. Was it like this from the beginning? Or did Nagito use it? If so, where did he use it? I wonder, is there still a trap somewhere that hasn't been sprung yet?
Like I said, even after Nagito dies, he still feels like he's torturing us from beyond the grave because now we're worried he's poisoned us somehow. Yeah, if someone else who wasn't a killer killed someone during an investigation, would there be two different trials going on? Or at the same time that would need to be solved? I mean, you know the answer. The answer is probably depending on whatever Monokuma thinks would be the most entertaining, right? So, you know. And now the trap?
For example, maybe he was making some kind of trap using this poison before he died. If that actually exists, it'd be real bad. It could potentially kill everyone on this island.
Everyone on the island? Oh, what the hell? Nagito, are you still trying to make us suffer? Are you still trying to make us suffer even after you've died? Alright, let's look at the treasure box. A fancy looking treasure box covered in sparkling pink lights is totally standing out. Wait, could this be...
Can you let me know if you find my treasure? It's a magnificent treasure box covered in sparkling pink lights.
That treasure box. Chiaki, you know about this?
It's really
Cute. Oh, okay. Oh, she was just reacting. This looks like Monomi's stolen treasure box. If this was here, that means the thief Monomi was talking about was Nagito. How am I not surprised? But why would Nagito steal this? In order to find out, it might be good to see what's inside.
Is it gonna be okay? It looks a little dangerous.
It might be, but this could be some kind of clue, you know? If this wasn't important, Nagito wouldn't have stolen it from Monomi in the first place. Wait, so Monokuma is making the ultimate poison? Legit question, though? You know what? It probably was supposed to kind of be that. Yes, like an ultimate poison. Just the best poison there is at poisoning someone. Probably. I turned back towards the treasure box and cautiously opened the lid. Inside, there was a notebook. Usami General Purpose Notebook. This is it? Why is a notebook inside this treasure box like it's something important? I took the notebook out of the treasure box and began leafing through it. It contains sloppy drawings as if they were drawn by children, and entries that look like chicken scratch. Day 1. I was able to talk to everyone for the first time today. Monokuma showed up and things turned bad. Day 2. Byakuya is the leader. A lot of things happened today, so everyone's tired. What is it? A diary?
Looks like it. Did Monomi write these?
Probably. These pictures and entries totally suit her. I kept flipping through the pages. Day 3, Day 4, Day 5. Page after page of poorly written entries continued on in the notebook. I don't really understand, but it looks like there aren't any clues here. And right when I was about to give up, my hand suddenly stopped on an entry titled Day 16. Day 16. We feed in the funhouse for 3 days. Everyone's hungry and on edge. Hajime tried to go into the final dead room today. He's probably panicking because no one believes him. Huh?
Hajime, Did something happen?
Oh, it's nothing.
Hey! Stop! Don't look at my notebook!
Whoa! From out of nowhere, Monami suddenly appeared and took the notebook out of my hand.
Phew! I did ask you to look for my treasure box, but I never said you were allowed to peek inside. Geez, that was close. If I had come any later, he would have seen the inside of the notebook. Unfortunately, you're a little too late. But if this notebook is here, then Nagito was the thief. Betrayal! I was betrayed by my beloved student. Hey, that notebook, it's pretty much your diary, right? Diary? It seems that way. That's right. This is my important diary where all my maiden secrets are written.
Hey, you're a liar!
You always show up out of nowhere.
Don't worry about it, guys. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's nothing. Don't think about it too much. Don't think about it.
Monami,
It's not good to lie, you know. Lie?
there's no way you
You wrote in that notebook.
After all, Monami can't even write.
Huh?
What are you saying? Jeez, I can write letters easily. I can finally write the letter B.
Because she doesn't have any fingers. Oh, sorry. I spoiled it there.
No, you can't, because you have no fingers on your hands.
What do you know? A character design thing is actually a plot point. You know what, Ramses? You know what? Don't think about it. Don't think about it. See? Bullseye! I know, because I'm the same way too. Huh? Are you mad? Are you angry that I exposed a weakling like you?
So that's what this is about. You're seriously trying to crush me.
What are you saying? There's no way a big brother would ever crush his little sister.
It looks like the time to settle things between us is getting closer every second.
Hey, I don't know why you're getting so serious, but is what Monokuma said true? He said you didn't write in that notebook. Is that true? If so, who wrote in it?
Well, you know, it's, how should I put it? Excuse me?
Oh, hold on. Damn it. She totally ran away again.
The same pattern as usual. Looks like it's a waste of time to try and get answers from her.
Still, I really wanted to ask her about that notebook. Well, actually, it might be better that I didn't ask her. I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not gonna think about it. I'm not gonna think about it. So can we investigate the bookshelf now? There are a lot. The genres and types of item are so random. I can't make any sense out of them whatsoever. There we go. I swear I'm gonna start crying when this trial is over. I am. I'm totally gonna start crying.
They say a shelf is a mirror that reflects a person's heart.
Do they now?
I definitely don't know much about Nagito just by looking at this.
I mean, Chiaki, I know what your bookshelf would look like if I went to ever saw it. It would probably just be game cases. So what should we do? It'd be really difficult to look through all these piles.
That doesn't mean we should ignore it, though. I'll leave it to you then, Hajime.
Oh, wait, what?
It's better if a boy goes through another boy's things. You know, there might be private stuff here.
The thing about Monokuma is expected. Monomi could be the most terrifying person ever when pushed. I mean, you know, beware the nice ones, you know, you never know. But, like, I guess we'll see. We'll see. The way Monomi's talking, it sounds like they're getting close to the end game to finally settle the score between the two plushies that fight each other. Like, is this some kind of ridiculous shonen anime with power escalation, but they're just a bunch of fucking talking plushies?
Anyway, it's better if a boy goes through another boy's things. You know, there might be private stuff here.
Well, that might be true, but
So, I'll leave this shelf to you.
I think I just got persuaded to do this without realizing it. Yeah, private stuff, like condoms or Marvel comic books. Jeez. I sighed and walked towards the shelf. One by one, I started removing the various books and items and examining each one. But even as I examined them carefully, there was still a bunch of random books and items. There's no way there are any clues here. I speak wrong! Huh? Well, that file wasn't the only one I received from Monokuma. This is another one. That seal!
Indeed, it's the school badge of Host Peak Academy. Does that have information about our stolen memories?
Unfortunately, I couldn't find any clues about that. This file doesn't contain our information, just Hajime's information. Nagito said this only contained information about me, but is that really true? If I look at it, it should be obvious, right? And he said I was from the reserve department and had no talent whatsoever. That might be another one of his lies, too. I opened the file I held in my hand to confirm that. Instantly, I realized something was strange. If this really has only my information, then why is this file so thick? As soon as I opened it, it was clear to me, just as I thought, Nagito had lied to me. This is what I think. This is really one of my favorite little images of Hajime, like out of CGs. He's so cute in this. He looks so young, and he is still a teenager, so fair enough. Aside from my information, there was information about the others: Kazuichi, Fuyuhiko, Akane, and Sonya, and everyone who died had pages of information about them too. The file contained information on all 16 of us. Only my information, my ass. I can't believe he'd make up such a strange lie. So that means the rest of it might be a lie too? I turned to the page containing my information and began reading through the content. The profile contained basic information such as my date of birth, my height and weight, and so forth. But there was one thing that specifically caught my eye. The words, reserve course student. There was no denying it. It confirmed I truly was a reserve course student from the reserve department. Why is this the only thing that isn't a lie? Why am I the only one here who's from the reserve department? Why am I here with all the other ultimates? Why am I even here? Hajime, did something happen? It's just like... They sort of talk about this more later on in the game as well, but at this point what Hajime's essentially thinking is like, if I'm not even an ultimate, if I'm not even special, if I'm not even some kind of chosen one person with some magnificent talent that makes me some kind of symbol of hope, then why did I have to go through all this horrible stuff like everybody else? Everyone else has talents and, reasons to think that they're special and, they have this whole, all this hope and don't give up and all that kind of stuff. I'm just a normal guy. Why did I have to do this as well? Why did I have to go through this horrible killing game? It's just not fair. It's like, hey, the reserve department is really cool in Danganronpa 3 anime. Don't feel too bad, Hajime. What, the reserve department? You mean that one where people get murdered and shit? I mean, well, actually, that's not really a spoiler. Basically, the spoiler is the whole Twilight Syndrome murder case event thing. That did happen, but it happened in the reserve department, and the people who died were reserve corps students, besides besides Mahiro and everybody like that. So, oh well, I just found a strange file.
Huh? Isn't that the special prize Nagito received when he cleared the final dead room? As I recall, your student profile should be in there.
It's not just my profile. The profiles of everyone on this island are in here too. Nagito was lying.
When you say everyone, do you mean everyone?
It's kind of a spoiler. It's not like a real big plot point spoiler, but it's kind of a spoiler because they explain it in chapter 6, basically. Yeah, it's just basic information, but there should be profiles for all 16 of us.
Can I take a look at that file?
Chiaki leaned against me and peered into the file. And now, Chiaki's in the cute little picture as well.
本当だ。私のプロフィールもある。でも残念ながら詳しいことは何も書かれてないみたいだね。
詳しいこと？
私たちが記憶を失ってるっていう希望が峰学園で生活してた頃の情報だよ。それがないってことは、これって私たちが入学する前に書かれたプロフィールなのかもしれないね。
じゃあそこから新しい手がかりを手に入れるのは無理なんだな。
そうみたいだね。
Hold on.
What happened?
I just noticed it right now, but
そのファイルってあいつの名前がないよな。確かに16人分のプロフィールがあるのに、でもあいつの名前だけはないよな。
誰のこと？
戸上だ。戸上白夜だよ。よく見てみろよ。あいつの名前だけどこにも見当たらないぞ。
Monokuma, what are you doing? So what if a name isn't written in that file? Perhaps, based on that, you think he might be the traitor? No, it's not just because his name isn't written in here. That's not the only reason I think he's suspicious. He participated in the killing school life at Pope's Peak Academy, right? For someone like him to be in a similar situation on this island, no matter what, it's definitely suspicious. Well, it pains me to say this, but what you're saying about the missing name and about the killing school life, it's totally wrong! There's a completely different reason! A different reason? How should I put this? You guys have been getting all worked up about that, Byakuya, for no reason. Which means the great mystery that you think surrounds that Byakuya doesn't exist. You're basing it on one person's cheap speculation. What do you mean? You don't have to ask me that. You'd know the answer just by looking through those profiles, right? Huh? My eyes turned back to the file. One by one, I started flipping through the pages and confirming the names. And suddenly, I came across a page that was filled with question marks. Every section was filled with question marks. It could barely be considered a student profile. On that page, I was only able to confirm one thing. Ultimate imposter? That's Byakuya's true identity! True identity? He was a fake that was pretending to be the ultimate affluent progeny, Byakuya Togami. A fake? The fact that his profile is filled with question marks isn't a mistake or an oversight. Surprisingly enough, that's the correct information regarding him. The ultimate imposter has no name, no permanent address, and even his age and gender is unknown. Basically, he doesn't exist. Because he doesn't exist, he's able to exist as anybody. That's his talent! I'm not jealous of it at all. That person wasn't really Byakuya Togami?
もしかして
Is that why he was so much fatter compared to when he was involved in the killing school life?
His physique doesn't affect his ability to fool others at all. Real imposters are skilled like that. Then he was lying to us the whole time?
でもね
But he couldn't help it.
What? Why couldn't he help it?
Because that was his talent.
So, okay, this is the point where I have to, I mean, we'll talk about this more later, but I guess I'll explain. Okay, now I can finally tell you this. So, Fat Byakuya Togami from Danganronpa 2 is nothing more than a red herring. They made it to make you, they literally put him in there to make you all suspicious and confused and wondering what the hell was going on. And you're wondering, hey, why is Byakuya Togami here? Why is he fat? What happened during the events of the first game and the second game? And it turns out, this is true, that guy we met, that is not Byakuya Togami. At least not Byakuya Togami from the events of the first game. He is someone who is just pretending to be Byakuya Togami. Why he was actually pretending to be Byakuya Togami, in all honesty, that's never really properly explained. But essentially, it was a massive coincidence. And Monokuma milked that for all it was worth to try and just make us, basically just to screw with us. This is also that means now I can finally say that Ultimate Imposter is best boy. Or best girl, you know what? No, Ultimate Imposter is best non-binary person because they are awesome. They are essentially so pretty much because they probably weren't even necessarily trying to protect everybody because he thought that's what Byakuya Togami would do. He just did that. He probably just did that because that's, in all honesty, what he thought everybody needed. And he used that disguise of Byakuya Togami, which he had before he even entered the school, to be like, as a sort of, oh, because I'm the ultimate affluent progeny, that's why I have to take responsibility. Basically, Ultimate Imposter is like the best guy ever. Like, really? And I love them. I love them. They're great. And yeah, the reason why they look like Byakuya and sound like Byakuya is because they're an imposter. And I think it's so clever because, yeah, they're not like, they can't like shapeshift or anything, but they're an imposter. So essentially they just walk in there with, that look, with some kind of costume that looks enough like Byakuya. And they walk in there, and even though they're fat, and even though they have, they've got a different physique and whatever, they go in there so convincingly that you don't even really question, hey, maybe it's somebody pretending to be Byakuya. That's what an imposter is. Somebody who, even if they're pretending to be someone else, they do it with so much confidence that you don't even really suspect that anything's wrong. Anyway, that is all I had to say about Ultimate Imposter, aka Fat Byakuya Togami. But I wonder if they disguised themselves as Hajime. I wonder how confusing that would have been for everyone. I mean, it would be like, okay, well, see, Danganronpa 3, the way Danganronpa 3 says it is essentially that he wouldn't, or they wouldn't disguise themselves as somebody who was already going to be there at Hope's Peak. But it's a long story. It's also, I guess you could say they were among them. Oh yeah, right. I completely forgot. Yeah, they're the imposter. But in this game, the imposter was actually just trying to protect us. Danganronpa is interesting. Anyway, now it's time for another very interesting conversation. 'Cause that was his talent. Huh?
Well, having talent means you're also bound to that talent. The moment you obtain talent, your way of life has already been chosen for you. You can't do anything else except rely on that talent, regardless of whether you want that life or not.
In that sense, compared to the other ultimates, your life might be a bit more liberating. What the hell? Anyway, I'm not happy that you guys fell for a scam that I had nothing to do with. So, I'll tell you straight up, this revelation about Byakuya is exactly the truth. Then, what was he trying to say to me at that time? I cannot talk to others about my past. I suspect that my skeptical nature is partly to blame. Distrusting others and being distrusted in turn. For a long time, my life has been a living hell. Based on the context, if I had to guess, maybe he was just complaining that he was cursed to wander the earth as nothing more than a fraud. It's stuff like this that makes me think talent and despair are their own kind of special power or energy, like the Force or something. I mean, yes, it basically is. I mean, heck, like hope as well is basically a superpower, pretty much. When they gave Makoto Naegi ultimate hope, they basically said he had superpowers. They pretty much just like, you know that's true, right? So it's interesting. That being said, I feel like when we do, even though that kind of force, those forces do exist in the world, in this world, I feel like Hajime is essentially like the antithesis of them. He's essentially the thing that breaks those powers because he is just a normal guy. But if you guys had your school memories, you never would have been betrayed in the first place. I mean, it'd be different if you were meeting him for the first time. But since you guys went to Hope's Peak Academy, you should have known about the ultimate imposter already. So in the end, it all leads back to memory loss. Jeez, the Future Foundation sure is awful. There's no way you should ignore Monami or the traitor. Who is it? Who's the traitor? Just from looking at these 16 profiles, I still wouldn't know who's from the Future Foundation. Is there really someone like that? Well, obviously you wouldn't know. I made that file so you guys couldn't find out. So it's just as I thought. You're the one who did it. The fact that there are 16 profiles in there is what's wrong. I mean, the traitor is a spy sent by the Future Foundation, not a student from Hope's Peak Academy. You made a fake profile for the traitor and included it in here? It wouldn't be fun if you figured out who the traitor was so easily, right? And we can't use this file to figure out who the traitor is. That was true for Nagito too, right? Well, probably. Hope's Peak Academy file has been added to the truth book section of your truth bullet section of your handbook. But truth books, anyway. Yeah, hope is that thing that makes a 90-pound person lift a car to save someone they love. You know, sure, you know what? You'll say that's hope as well. Hope, like, okay. Hope is kind of a literal superpower in this. I mean, like, heck, I mean, yeah, despair is what makes a nurse murder for her beloved? Probably yes. And also, because remember, and we're gonna talk about this more in more detail, but yeah, like, despair is what caused the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. And it happened because, according to what Junko said, despair is contagious. And if somebody gets infected by despair, it starts spreading around like a virus. So yeah, hope has power and despair has power too. The question is just, what happened after Junko died? It's dripping with despair, isn't it? You wasted your precious time on something that isn't a clue. Was that a wise decision? Time's up, you know. Time's up? Wait! Excuse me for a moment. Time's up. That chimed just now.
生物にとって最も大切なものとは何か。僕は時間じゃないかと思うんだ。
No, I'll tell you right now, no. The despair virus is not an actual despair virus. It's not an actual despair disease. It's literally just like a state of mind. And I mean, given what's happened over the world over the past year, I think you can kind of understand how stuff like that could even happen. And I don't think Kadaga was trying to say, oh, you know, something like this is realistic. It's not. But at the same time, this idea that this sense of anarchy and whatever, it's a real it's a real thing, and it's not like some kind of, it's like a mental thing than a physical illness, basically.
ほら、預金通帳は減ったり増えたりするけど、時間は常に減っていく一方でしょ。だから僕らは時間を大切にしないといけないんだ。時間の無駄遣いほどもったいない行為はないからね。というわけで、時間です。最後の学級裁判を始めるので、モノクマロックに集合してください。
Just like last time, he's calling it the final class trial. The question is, the last time he called it the final class trial is because, well, basically because he was pulling out all of his stops to try and get Kyoko and or Makoto executed so nobody would stand in Junko's way. But why is this one being called that?
ぷぷぷぷ、じゃあまた後でね。
There's only one way to find out. The last class trial? He said that right. He said last class trial. I wish Danganronpa was real so I could hang out with Hajime and Junko. I'd say, like, wait, you want to hang out with Junko? But in all honesty, like, from what you see of Junko, especially even in, like, Danganronpa 3, like, Junko is basically insane and does horrible things, but she's also very charismatic. Basically, in all honesty, her appearance in Danganronpa 1, it's kind of almost like she's almost gotten so depressed from just everything going according to plan that she kind of can't even muster up the same sort of energy that she did beforehand, but she's interesting. Like, she actually is a Gyaru. Like, she actually is like this fashionista as well. It's interesting. Anyway, hi Chiaki, I know you've got serious face on.
Yeah, I heard it too. He really did say it was the last class trial.
What do you think? Should we believe him?
Monokuma seemed anxious about the Monokuma timer earlier, right? 2 more days? And he said something about the killing school trip ending, right?
I mean, there is somebody who maybe potentially could have saved her from being evil, and that is a character from Danganronpa 0. But based on the time limit, this might definitely be the last one.
But I can't imagine that it's the real end.
Huh?
I think Monokuma's real plan might be just beyond that.
His real plan? Is Monokuma still planning to make us do something? What could it be? Okay, so Danganronpa 3 is complicated because it is simultaneously a sequel to Danganronpa 1 and 2 and a prequel to it. There are like 2 story arcs happening kind of simultaneously. One's a prequel, one's a sequel. It's very weird. It's very weird. Maybe after putting us through all this, he's planning to kill the remaining survivors all at once?
But still, it's also not a good idea to think about it too much, I think. I think we should focus on the class trial that's waiting for us first.
You're right. A class trial for Nagito's murder. We're pretty screwed. Okay, hang on. I'm screenshotting that. I'm screenshotting that because Hajime is such a fucking mood. I haven't collected my thoughts because we were so focused on this file. I still can't see who killed Nagito.
でもね
Well, you don't have to worry so much.
Huh?
I mean, we're not fighting this alone, you know?
Chiaki, you're right. You're absolutely right. We're not alone. Even if it's a mystery that can't be solved alone, as long as everyone cooperates and works together. Yeah, if we do that, things will turn out fine. I hope that isn't famous last words. But wait. Okay, fine. Wait, I thought it was... Oh, alright, we're right here. Hang on. Just before... Let me just check. Don't worry, I love Hajime too. I would definitely hang out with Hajime. There's so few of us now. Looks like everyone's here. Is this it? Shouldn't there be more people? Stop it, you're making me depressed. You're making me depressed. Oh, Sonia.
あの
So, it is going to happen again. The cruel conflict, where we must doubt our friends.
The thing about Sonia, remember at the beginning of this chapter, she's like, that she was the one adamant that there was no traitor to begin with, and then Monokuma was just tricking her. This whole idea of distrusting her friends is really starting to get on her. But once we're through with this, we can go back, right? That Monokuma bastard said so, didn't he? He said this is the last class trial. Tricked every step of the way. There's no way I can believe that so easily. Why can't you believe it? The guy who's making us do all this is the one saying it, you know? That's why. I'll definitely survive. If we can really go home after we deal with this class trial, I'll definitely find out who the killer is, no matter what, even if I have to pull out all the stops. Hi, Monami? What the fuck? Why are you here?
You haven't realized it yet. That feeling of wanting to leave this island. Thinking like that is Monokuma's trap, you know?
Huh?
What are you saying?
There's no way Monokuma will end things here. He's planning something far worse.
Stop trying to jinx us! Damn right! Stupid rabbits, just shut up!
Everyone, you mustn't run away from despair.
Huh?
I have finally realized, after losing my powers, I realized that cursing your powerlessness or your fate accomplishes nothing. The possibility may be small, but as long as there's a possibility, you must face it. In order to become someone who can be proud of yourself. So I will fight!
Huh?
What's her deal?
あの
I do not really know, but she seems different from before.
Maybe she read a self-help book.
待て
But her eyes, she looks so determined. What can you tell just by looking at those button eyes? And yeah, what's different between Monami and Monokuma? Monokuma is basically the simplest way of explaining it is Monokuma's the one in charge. Monami is trying to be in charge, but she's powerless. That's essentially what it is. And yeah, this is why I love Monami. Monami in this chapter. It's so good. Anyway, make sure you turn off Mini Maru. It'd be annoying if he started talking during the trial. Fine.
でもね
Somehow, I understand what Monami is saying.
I think. Oh, yeah, it's good. Learning to write the letter B has given her confidence. Exactly. Good one. Good one. Anyway, let's get going to the last class trial.
You're right. We need to fight as much as we can, no matter what hopeless truth awaits us in the end.
This is the end. I kept saying those words to myself over and over within my mind. I entered Monokuma Rock. Okay, so we can't actually talk to everyone individually this time. Damn, I wanted more flavor text. I guess, you know, it's too serious now. Look at that. This elevator ride. This will be the last time for this too, right? Hope so. Monomi seeks magical girl power? Yes. I mean, she seeks self-confidence, as we all do, so...
あのね、
Let's worry about things after we're finished.
そうですよね。
More importantly, we must focus on the class trial before us.
This is the point where you...
そげ
This is the point we start realizing that, hey, they probably designed it so that survivors would be pretty equally spaced out and they wouldn't have big empty gaps everywhere. And then you start thinking too much about it, and you should stop thinking too much about it. The killer managed to kill someone like Nagito. There's no way this is gonna go smoothly. I mean, I still can't believe one of us was able to do it.
あの
Nagito was problematic in many ways, but he was also a valuable asset during the trials.
Yeah, you're right. In fact, during the Funhouse ordeal, we were completely dependent on him. But even if he's gone, the ones who survived need to stand and fight. We must fight. And then the door slowly opened. This bright light greeting us. Is that the light of hope or the light of despair? Well then, now that chatterbox Nagito is gone, there are only 6 of you left. And yeah, Akane sends a frame as if she's the protagonist. I mean, it's sort of like, it makes sense, not because she's the protagonist, but because, like, she'd be the first one who wants to get out of there and get started, even if she has no idea what's going on. Enough! Just fucking start this already! Hey, this is it, right? This is really the last class trial, right?
Yep, it sure is. So, you gotta show some enthusiasm and make sure you give it your all.
Didn't I tell you? He said it. This is the end. Monomi.
Now then, let's get this trial started. This is the last class trial. Let's show some enthusiasm and kill each other.
This is the 5th class trial. According to Monokuma, this is also the last class trial. That curtain is about to rise. Nagito Komaeda, the ultimate lucky student. When I first met him, I thought he was a nice guy. He came across as very sociable. But his true nature held such a demented thought process that was nothing like his outward appearance. He said he believed in hope more than anything else. He said he was yearning for a powerful hope that can overcome any despair. He said that he would even help despair just to prove that hope will never lose to despair. And he said he'd become a stepping stone for hope. His way of thinking was completely screwed up. But there were also times he saved us too. Someone like him was killed. That was the end of him. And I have no idea at all who did it, but there's no way we can end this without knowing. We will be consumed by despair. That's why we absolutely have to find out. The person who finished off Nagito. the killer who murdered Nagito. In order to return from this despair alive, we need to reach the truth. And if Monokuma says this really is the last class trial, that's all the more reason we need to do this. And so, this life-threatening trial, billowing with hope and despair, the last one, has begun. Would you like to save? Yes! Let us save! Is Danganronpa... Yeah, was he right? Find out next time in Danganronpa Z. Is Danganronpa 2 the equivalent of Z? Not exactly. It's just a direct sequel. It's not really any sort of reboots or reimagining. It's just a direct sequel, pretty much. So I'll probably do my preparations next time. And yeah, Nekomaru almost died like Piccolo, which is true. But yeah, it's not really. But just before we start, I guess let's read what the pre-trial representative thing happened. Okay, let's see. The trickster Nagito was brutally murdered. His unpredictable death has left a looming shadow of mystery in the hearts of Hajime and the others. Who is the traitor? What was the clue Nagito left? Will they be able to see the light within the darkness between hope and despair? Nice little summary there. So, next time, guys. Next time, with all those mysteries and all of these ridiculous things going on, we try to get to the bottom of this, one step at a time. And if this really is the final class trial, we're gonna do everything we can to make sure that we survive. So, see you all next time for more Danganronpa 2! I'm so excited! It's gonna be fun! And then when we get to chapter 6, I'm gonna start fangirling, and it's gonna be terrible because I'm just not even gonna be able to string a coherent sentence together. Because this is, like I said, it's just getting real. I'm so excited! See ya, guys.